Elections, accessibility, needs advisory committee. I'm the chair down the Sakamoto. I welcome the board members and the public here for this meeting. Before we start, I would like to say some words. Sorry. Sorry. We're done and again. Okay, this meeting is to allow us, the people, to give input to the state, the county state, statewide elections office for accessibility needs advisory committees. So our input is very important to help the youth counties and the state to give our disabled community what our concerns are for the upcoming election or primary this year. So before I start, I would like to call for a members here present. So I'm going to call the name, please, that was called. First is OPD Money Balaz here. Right here. Okay, next is Lemke. Here. Next is myself, Chair Balaz. Next is Randy Young, Vice Chair. He's here. Okay. Quorum is established. So before we go on, I would like to have a staff member read the procedures for today's meeting. Okay.
Thanks, Chair. This is a traditional in-person meeting, so the committee members must be physically present to participate. Members of the public will be allowed to participate remotely using the WebEx video conferencing platform or here in person. All testimony will be accepted remotely in person. As a courtesy, please turn off your cell phones for the duration of the meeting. Video conferencing is possible. Speaker may not have anyone else read their statement. We will be limited to a 3-minute presentation on all items. If you wish to testify, please press star 3 to raise your hand. For those that may be joining us by telephone only, we will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your number is called, press star 6 to unmute yourself. Written testimonies, including the testifier's address, email address, phone number, will be available to the public on the city's website.
Okay, thank you. The next on the agenda is we're going to get item 3 to approve the minutes of April 26, 2024. I believe the minutes were circulated to the members as well as to the website of the elections office cities and I would like to motion to have the minutes approved.
Wait, you should offer the motion as chair. You should say, you should entertain motion.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And I would like to attain a motion for the board for approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second by Brandon John. Okay. Any discussions about the minutes or corrections? I just want to say one thing. Thank you for the minutes for Joel Lewis for having the notes and then was able to put it together for this meeting. It was a good minutes, I would say. It was pretty much the direct and a lot of things that were said. But there's also attached video into the video. it highlights most of the points that we talked about. So with that, you can take a approval with I for to accept the minutes as is.
I,
I. Any names? Okay, the minutes have been approved unanimously. So we'll move to the next item. Thank you, everybody. Okay, next is we're going to have a, you know, I think I should have asked the public.
nobody on the WebEx either.
Next is a demonstration by Mr. James Gasher from the statewide elections office, committee. He's a vice chair and he's going to do a demonstration about the electronic.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair, Donald, and welcome everybody. Glad to be back at the county meeting. In a few minutes, I'm going to do a demonstration, assuming that all the technology works out okay, and it should have checked out good before we started the meeting, so we'll see. But just a few preliminary remarks. You know, this might be new to some of you, but some of the rest of you have heard what I'm about to say, and it won't hurt you to hear it again. You know, we have a wonderful election system in Hawaii. We're one of the vote by mail states. I don't know now the exact number. There used to be 5. Hawaii was one of the 5 vote by mail states. I'm sure it's grown since the pandemic, and a lot of states tried and liked vote by mail. So that number is growing. But the vote by mail program certainly created new challenges for people, especially with certain types of disabilities, blindness being one of them, since, you know, the ballot you get is a printed ballot, and the federal standard for what's lawful is if you're blind or have another disability, and this is what's stated in the Help America Vote Act, that you have the right to vote privately and independently. Well, in my case, if you send me a printed ballot in the mail, there's no way I can vote privately and independently. I have a bunch of technology. I can probably read the ballot. I can't mark the ballot and do all the things necessary to send it back without assistance. But we have, as I say, the legal right to vote privately and independently. So that's been the challenge. The first year out, which was 2020, under our vote by mail law, people really didn't know too much about what to do in the case of blindness or disability. And the general thinking was come down here to the Honolulu Maui and vote. But then the pandemic came along and there was COVID in the building, and I didn't want to come down here and vote privately, independently. I'll tell you that. Come away with COVID. So that was not a good way. We were able in the 2020 election to vote by mail, vote electronically, and to return the ballot by email. There were a lot of steps involved in doing this. And if you were fairly schooled with computers, you could do it. But if you were the average person, it would be a little harder to do with all the steps that were involved in doing this at the time of the 2020 election. 2022 was about the same. we knew more about it by that time, and the election workers, state and county, knew more about it and knew what to anticipate, and it was easier to get the electronic ballot. But now this is the 2024 election, and we've taken some important steps. One of the most important steps, I think, is when the election law was amended in 2021, this committee and the committee I'm on, which is the statewide elections accessibility needs advisory committee, these committees were created. And that has the gives us the opportunity to help to guide the accessibility of the election. They become part of the system in effect, whereas previously the best you could do was call people on the phone or send some email and hope that somebody had figured out what to do. Now we get to help figure out what to do. So that's the advantage as well as the challenge of these county level and state level committees. One of our first major initiatives coming from the state level has been to simplify the electronic ballot. It was originally called an alternate format ballot, and the return system to how to get the ballot back to the county elections division. And so this will be the first election that we have a new revamped system, and I am going to demonstrate that system in just a few minutes. But it won't have all the steps that we had to go through in 2020 and 2022. It'll be much more simplified, much more streamlined, and frankly, if I can toot our horn just a little bit, I think that we will have in Hawaii among, if not the most, truly non-visual, accessible voting system in the United States. Fortunately, we have our state and county election offices are very proactive in this area of accessibility. It isn't that way if you're in a lot of states. A lot of states don't even want you to register to vote. We want everybody to register to vote. Speaking of registration, we did another thing in the 2021 law, and that was whenever a person in Hawaii registers to vote, you have the question whether or not, due to a disability, you need to have an electronic ballot, and it's a self-affirmation. You can have an electronic ballot if you say that you can't see or you have a disability enough that you can't read the standard ballot that you would get in the mail at home, and you need an accessible electronic ballot. So you can and you should register to get that. If you don't register to get that, you won't get it. Now, if you registered to vote many, many years ago, you can update your registration. And this is on the state elections.hawaii.gov website, and go to the link for voter registration. Follow that link. And if you've previously registered, then you want to choose update my registration and simply follow the steps to register to receive the electronic ballot. And then you will get that. And so when and I don't know what the cutoff period would be for this. We're coming up on the August 10 primary election, so you need to update your registration soon for that. And then for the November 5th election, in advance of that, you need to be sure that that's done. It's only a one-time transaction. You don't have to redo this. So for those of us who previously registered to get an electronic ballot, we'll get it without re-registering or without updating. But if you haven't done this before, I recommend going online to the elections.hawaii.gov website and updating your voter registration. Then you get the electronic ballot. Now, the electronic ballot will come, you'll get an email at the time of the election. So the ballots come out in July. I'm thinking around the 26th of July, or so. Somebody here knows what's the date the ballots get mailed.
For the primary?
Yeah. One of you guys that works here, you know, but anyway, it's around the 26th of July. It's 18 days before the election, which is August 10th. So I guess it'd be maybe the 23rd or 24th of July. People will start receiving their paper ballots in the mail. And at the same time, those of us who have registered for the electronic ballot will receive an email with a link in it to follow to cast our ballot electronically. And in that case, you don't have to use the paper ballot that you got in the mail.
It'll be July 20th.
I was thinking once I started to count the date, it's 18 days, I guess, before. Is that Rex?
No, this is Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Thanks. Okay. I knew sitting here in an office full of election workers, somebody was going to know what date ballots come out. Okay.
One moment. Rachel's with the Honolulu Elections Division.
Where 18th is gonna be when it's not out. Should be the balance.
And one of the primary.
July 23rd. And then when's the
October 18th.
October 18th? Wonderful. Okay. So that way we know. So, and I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this question, but if you want to be sure to get the electronic ballot, and you're not sure if you're registered to do that yet, is there a particular, I know the deadline should be as soon as possible, but is there a time that, you know, if you haven't done it, you're not likely to get that? Does anybody know the answer to that question? I don't think we do. So the answer is as soon as possible. Okay, I'm going to step to the next room so my sound doesn't interfere with the sound of our application, our WebEx here. And the next thing you'll hear is me on WebEx.
Thank you. I'll wait for James to do his demonstration. I just want to know about the board members that we're going to take public testimony for both agenda items. Then open discussion to the board and then move on to the presentations. Stay in our screen.
Processing. You're about to share screen. Sharing control. Floating window. To move sharing control panel, use arrow key. In window control.
Okay. All right.
Need it
Now,
loud.
can you guys hear me next in the
Yes.
next
Yeah.
room? I think so. Good. Okay, we're good to go here. Now we're sharing my screen. I am on one of my own laptop machines, and so
Webex.
and I'm on a
Webex.
on a website. So I'm actually on. So that of course we have the Office of Elections website, and there's a page off of the Office of Elections website called Voters Needing Assistance. If you're on the front page of elections.hawaii.gov, just look for Voters Needing Accessibility, and that's a link off of elections.hawaii.gov, and you'll get to the page that I'm on right now. So I'm going to press my arrow keys and show you where I am here. Or I think I'm going to do that.
Office of Elections. Voters requiring
Yeah, there we
assistance.
go.
Google
I'm
Chrome.
good. I'm good.
Voters require heading level 2. Voters requiring assistance. A voter who requires assistance to vote by reason of disability, visual, hearing impairment, or inability to read or write may request for assistance from a person of their choice other than their employer or agent of their employer or union. Heading level 3. Voter registration. Individuals helping must refrain from voter registration. Heading level 4. Vote at home with a paper ballot.
Okay, so here are your options for voting. One of them, of course, is to vote at home with a paper ballot. You're listening to JAWS, by the way, which is my screen reader.
Voter at heading level 4. Vote at home with a paper ballot. All registered voters receive a mail ballot packet approximately 18 days prior to the election. Heading level 4. Vote at home with an accessible electronic ballot.
Okay, so the second option is you can vote at home with an accessible electronic ballot. That's the one we're going to pursue for the demonstration here, but I'll go on.
Voters with special needs may request for an accessible electronic ballot from their county elections division. The accessible electronic ballot will be electronically transmitted to voters who may download and mark their ballot privately and independently using their own assistive technology. Voters have the option to return the voter ballot electronically to their county elections division or by using the return ballot envelope that was included in their mail ballot packet. Voters may access a demonstration electronic ballot through the visited link. Hawaii Accessible Electronic Ballot System open in a new tab.
I'm going to demonstrate that in just a second, but I want to show you your other voting options before we get to that.
To access the system, at heading vote their ballot and by mail. Link click here to view a video of the by mail. Their ballot and then print and cast their ballot. Voter service centers are equipped with a heading level 4. Vote at a voter service center.
So we've talked about two options, paper ballot and vote at home with your own personal device. Here's go to a voter service center, and here's what it says about that.
Voter service centers are equipped with accessible voting equipment. Voters may use an accessible ballot marking device, Verity Touch Writer, to vote their ballot and then print and cast their ballot. The printed ballot is the same as the one used by all voters, whether at the voter service center or by mail. Link click here to view a video of the Verity Touch Writer.
So this would bring up a video. We're not going to watch that today, but you can go to this page yourself and try it out.
Heading level 4. Individuals providing voting assistance. If a resident of a care facility.
Now, you do have the right to have assistance when voting, and this goes on to tell you there are certain limitations on that. For example, you can't have your employer help you. You can't have a union representative help you. You can't have a
should be observed list of 6 items.
Let's see.
Bullet reach out to bullet ensure that the bullet when providing assistance and vote. Bullet no one may ask a voter to see or look at the bullet. No one may mark a person's ballot or direct a person in voting without authorization. Bullet an attempt to vote in the name of another will list end. The following actions constitute voter and the list of 5. Bullet A per voting for bullet A person for any particular bullet A person who bullet A person who bullet A person
so it
who
gives you a lot of limitations on using
list end.
assistance.
Pursuant to Hawaii law, any person who knowingly furnishes of a class heading level 4 accessibility
A
brochure.
lot of legalese here. Okay, and then we get to an accessibility brochure. So we won't pursue that, but
you have several. So the point is here, you have several options for voting, and they're all outlined here on the Voters Needing Assistance webpage. I'm going to go back to the one about voting with your own accessible device.
Individuals providing voting at Vote at a Voter service. Vote at home with an accessible electronic ballot. Heading level.
Vote at home with an accessible electronic ballot.
Voters with special need. The electronic have the option in their mail. Voters may access a visited link. Hawaii Accessible Electronic Ballot System. Enter. Hawaii Accessible Electronic Ballot System. Open in a new tab. Link. Voting client. Voting client. Page has no ballot.
Okay, I've opened up the voting client. Now this is a demonstration version, and it requires me to enter a username and password. The previous page told me that. Actually, it requires not a username. I'm sorry. My name, first name, last name, not my name, Jane Demo. You'll see. Here we go.
Hawaii States. Heading level 1. Welcome to the Hawaii Accessible Electronic Ballot System. Main region. Heading level 2. Ballot access. Separator. Use the button below to access your ballot. You will be asked to provide your first name, last name, date of birth, and the access pin emailed to you.
So, by the way, I am just using arrow keys to navigate through this, so you guys hear everything.
Visited link. Access my ballot.
Okay, so now I get to access my ballot. Here goes. I'm going to press a enter key.
Enter. Main region. Access my ballot link. Ballot log in Google.
Okay, it wants
Escape. First name.
It wants first name.
Lang. Edit.
That is Jane.
Jane. Last name edit required.
Last
name placeholder.
is
Last name. Type in
Demo.
text. DEMO.
Okay, and now
Date of birth proof. Enter month of birth as a number. Edit. Blank. Placeholder.
month of
Type in
birth
text.
is 01.
01. Enter day of birth as a number. Edit. Blank. Placeholder. DD.
Day
Type
of
in
birth
text.
is 01.
1. Enter year of birth as a number. Edit. Blank. Placeholder. YYY. Type
1950
in
is
text.
the year.
1 9 5 0. Access pin password. Edit required. Type in text.
And the access pin is
Star.
090909. And now
Ballot login. Login button to activate. Press enter. Enter. Voting client. Voting client. Page has no links. Voting client. List of 1 logout button. List end.
so I'm obviously logged in. Everything I used worked. And now I'm arrowing down the page so you guys will hear everything.
Main region. Hawaii State Seal Graphic. Heading level 1. State of Hawaii. Heading level 1. Accessible ballot marking system. You have a ballot available in 2 elections. Heading level 2. Primary demo. August 10th, 2024. Click begin ballot below to start voting. You begin ballot button.
Okay, I'm not going to go down to the general election. I'll just do the primary.
Click the begin ballot button.
I'm going to click on hit enter for begin ballot.
End loading ballot marker. Main region. Ballot marking process. Heading level 2.
All right, now we're in the ballot marking process.
Separator. Step 1.
This is going to tell us all the steps you have to go through.
Instructions. In progress. Step 2. Mark. Pending. Step 3. Review. Pending. Step 4. Return.
All right, so basically there are 4 steps, and we're at the first one, which is the instructions. And I'm going to read these. You won't have to read them more than once. You'll know what they are.
Pending. You are about to heading level 1 ballot marking. You will begin continue button.
Continue, and that should bring up the instructions.
Enter. Heading level 2 ballot marking instructions. Separate. Heading level 4-1. Mark each contest. Heading level 4-1.
Now
Mark your ballot.
This tells us how to mark our ballot.
Each contest is on its own screen. Heading level 4-2. You can go back and make corrections during your review. Heading level 4-3. Follow instructions to prepare your voting materials for return to your elections office. Ballot navigation continue button.
All right, those the instructions.
Enter. Heading level 2. Next step is mark your ballot.
We're on the
Heading separator.
next step is to mark our ballot.
Visited link. Step 1. Instructions completed. Step 2. Mark. In progress. Step 3. Review. Pending. Step 4. Return. Pending. You are in the ballot marking process. Heading level 1. Mark your ballot. This ballot has 10 contests. Each contest is on its own screen. Start ballot button.
Start ballot.
Enter. Heading level 2. Mark your ballot. Separator. This is one of 10 items. Heading level 1. You must select one island below. Vote for not more than one. Choices remaining 1. Group start. Use Hawaii Party H checkbox. Maui Party M checkbox not check. Hawaii Party K checkbox not check. Oahu Party O checkbox not check. Group N. You must Oahu Party O checkbox not
I'm
check.
going to check this one. I'm going to use the space bar to check.
Space. You must select one island below. Vote for Oahu Party O checkbox checked.
Checked. Okay, now I'm keep
Group
going.
N. You must group start ballot. Previous button on next button.
Next, go to next.
Enter. Mark your ballot. Heading level 2. Heading separator. This is 2 of 4 items.
So we've just done the first one. We've chosen our island. Now we're going to go to
Heading level 1. Oahu Party O. Heading level 1. Favorite beach. Vote for not more than 1. Choices remaining 1. Group start. Oahu Party O. Favorite beach. Vote for not more than 1. Choices room. Lanikai checkbox not checked. Sunset checkbox not checked. Waikiki checkbox not checked. End of Waikiki sunset checkbox not checked.
I'll choose Sunset Beach.
Space. Oahu Party O. Favorite beach. Waikiki sunset checkbox checked.
Checked. Okay.
Waikiki group end. Oahu group start. Previous button. Next button.
See, I can go back a screen if I thought, oh, I'm going to change something, but I don't want to go back.
Previous button.
So I would hit previous to go back, but in this case, I'm going to hit next.
Next button. Enter. Mark your ballot. Heading level 2. Separator. This is 3 of 4 items. Heading level 1. Favorite shave ice topping.
Shave ice toppings. Here's our choices.
Vote for not more than 1. Choices remaining 1. Group start. Favorite shave ice top.
I can only choose one shave ice topping, so I'm going to have 4 choices, I think.
Azuki beans checkbox not checked. Condensed milk checkbox not checked. Mochi balls checkbox not checked. Group N. Favorite shave mochi condensed milk check.
I'm going to choose, I'm more of a mainland guy. I'm going to choose condensed milk.
Space. Favorite shave ice.
All right.
Mochi ball. Group N. Favorite start ballot navigation.
Let's see if it got my, condensed.
Group N. Mochi balls checked. Condensed milk checkbox checked.
Yeah.
Mochi groups previous. Next button.
Next. Going to the,
Enter. Mark your ballot. Heading level 2. Separate. This is 4 of 4 items.
all right, we're on the last of the ballot, and this is shave ice toppings.
Heading level 1. Favorite shave ice flavors.
Flavors.
Vote for not more. Choices remaining 3. Group start.
I get to choose of 3 flavors.
Guava checkbox not checked. Kiwi checkbox not checked. Lee and Mui checkbox not checked. Lychee checkbox not checked. Mango checkbox not checked. Pineapple checkbox not checked. Strawberry checkbox not checked. Vanilla checkbox not checked.
All right, so
Group choices remain. Group starts. Guava checkbox not checked.
let's choose guava.
Space. Favorite shave ice flavors. Vote for group start. Guava checkbox checked. Kiwi, Lee and Mui. Lychee checkbox. Mango checkbox not checked.
Let's choose mango.
Space. Mango checkbox not checked. Lychee pineapple check. Strawberry pineapple checkbox.
Let's choose pineapple.
Space. Pineapple checkbox checked.
Okay, I've checked 3 of them, and you get to check 3.
Strawberry vanilla check. Watermelon group and favorite group start previous button. Review ballot button.
Okay, so I have no more screens to vote on. The next screen, rather than saying next, it says review ballot. So I'm going to press spacebar on that.
Space. Next step is ballot review. Heading level 2. Step visited links and completed. Visited link. Step 2 mark completed. Step 3 review. In progress. Step 4 return. Pending. You are in the ballot. Heading level 1 review your ballot. Confirm or change your review ballot button. Skip to ballot. Review
All
ballot.
right, review ballot.
Space. Heading level. Vote for group start. Oahu Lanikai checkbox. Group start. Oahu Party O. Favorite beach. Vote for not more than 1. Lanikai checkbox not checked. Sunset checkbox checked. Waikiki check. Group end. Oahu. Heading level 1. Favorite shave ice topping. Vote for not more than 1. Group start. Favorite shave ice topping. Vote for not more. Azuki beans checkbox not checked. Condensed milk checkbox checked. Mochi balls checkbox not checked. Group end. Heading level 1. Favorite shave ice. Vote for not more. Group start. Guava checkbox checked. Kiwi checkbox not checked. Lee and Mui checkbox not. Lychee checkbox not checked. Mango checkbox checked. Pineapple checkbox checked.
There we go.
Strawberry vanilla check. Watermelon group end. Group start. Confirm ballot and proceed button.
confirm ballot and proceed. So I checked, I heard all the boxes that were checked. So the point being on this, you really get a lot of opportunities to change, to confirm that you're doing the right thing. So you know you're not accidentally voting for something you didn't want to vote for. And now I'm down to the confirm button.
Groups are confirm ballot.
Confirm ballot, let's see.
Groups confirm ballot and proceed button.
Confirm ballot and proceed. Okay, let's hit enter.
Enter. Heading level 2. Next step is ballot return.
All right, I'm down to ballot return. So that's how do I get my ballot to the county elections division?
Separator. Visited link visit mark complete. Visited link review completed. Step 4. Return in progress. You are in the ballot marking process. Heading level 1. Return your ballot. You are almost done. Continue to the next page to review return instructions. Continue button.
All right, we're going to listen to the review instructions. So the return instructions. I'm going to hit enter.
Enter. Heading level 2. Return your ballot. Separ. You are eligible to return your ballot using one of the following methods. Please select your preference.
I have several choices as to how I can return my ballot.
Heading level 1. Option 1. Select this option if you plan to return your ballot using the secure electronic ballot return option. Electronic button.
That's the one I'm going to use, but that's one option. You can return it just directly electronically.
Heading level 1. Option 2. Email.
Option 2, I can email it back.
Select this option if you plan to return your ballot by email. Email button. Heading level 1. Option 3. Fax. Email button.
So I could do that, but I would have a lot more steps involved than just hitting the electronic above. But I could return it by email.
Heading level 1. Option 3. Select this option if you plan to return your ballot by fax.
I could fax it back. I'm not going to do that. I don't have a fax machine or the
fax button
capability, but I have that option.
Heading level 1. Option 4. Select this option if heading level 1. Option 4. Postal mail return.
Postal mail return.
Select this option if you plan to return your ballot using the postal mail system. Postal mail return button. Start over button.
All right. So those are I got 4 options. It didn't have Dropbox. I guess that could have been another option that you could put in.
Ballot style 1. 0.
Okay,
Start
so,
postal. Select heading fax. Select
so let's
email.
go back up to electronic.
Select heading level 1. Option 1. Select this option. Electronic button.
Electronic.
Select electronic button.
Electronic. I'm going to hit electronic.
Enter. Ballot return document.
Okay.
List of 1 item. Logout button. List N. Main region. Heading level 1. Primary demo. Heading level 7. You selected electronic. Change button. Heading level 1.
So I'd say it knows I selected electronic. It will let me change that if I wanted to, but I don't want to.
Heading level 2 button. Step 1. By clicking below to access your electronic authentication form, an electronic signature will be added. This will be your acknowledgement of the instructions.
I don't have to sign anything. It's just telling me that a electronic signature will be added.
Within the electronic, I'll click the access button. Heading level 2, step 2. When ready, click submit ballot below. The submission process will encrypt your ballot on your device and submit it to the electronic ballot box. Loading ...
Okay. We're actually down to the end of this. The completed the actual return part from here isn't done. A week or 2 ago it was working, and it has the words where it says loading.
When read, loading ...
Loading, it actually had the word submit, and I did submit it, and it would say your ballot is being encrypted and sent to the county elections division. Well, then I don't have to worry about the thing. I just submit it, and from that, I've done everything. I don't have to copy it. I don't have to download it to my system. I don't have to attach it to an email. I don't have to do anything. Now, Ann is going to ask, can I track my ballot?
Exactly.
And the answer to that question is yes. On the main page of elections.hawaii.gov, so that's the state election website, there is a link to ballot tracks. And we won't demonstrate ballot tracks here. We don't really need to, but you follow that link. It's a completely separate system, and it has nothing to do with accessible ballots. It just means that however you return your ballot, you can track it. So if you mailed it in, or if you put it in a Dropbox, the county is going to, I mean, the system will tell you that your ballot has been received, and you can know that it's coming in. You have to simply register with ballot tracks. And I recommend that everybody do that, so you know that your ballot is getting counted. This is part of the election service for all voters. No matter with accessibility, it applies to all voters. So please sign up for ballot tracks, and you'll be able to know that when you follow the steps that we've just gone through, your ballot is actually in the system, and you'll get a report that tells you at what stage in the process, like received, available for counting, counted. But I'm not sure that I'm quoting the exact steps, but I know there are several steps, and you'll get a report at which point your ballot is. I'm going to step back into the main room, but that's the demonstration of the accessible electronic ballot.
Thank you, James. It's wonderful demonstration. Before we go to the next topic, is there a discussion for the audience? Right, the virtual and person questions by James demonstrated.
Chairman, this was Rachel. I'm just playing that game. It's just, advice to the hearing.
And it's not deadline, she said, but should do it as good as possible. Stand up for the electronic ballot. Okay, you can go on.
This is Anne, from Hawaii School Grade Center.
Can anybody use this and have you have an issue?
Disability.
Can disability issue?
I can, oh no, I can answer that. So, you have to register. And that's part of the registration to vote process. And you have to, it's self-affirming, but you have to be able to say that you have a disability, which makes it that you are unable to read and vote using the normal printed ballot.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. Thank you.
but the other procedure, the track, that anyone
Anybody,
could use.
anybody uses
And
ballot.
actually, go back to what Mr. Gatchell was saying, it's your self-affirmation that you have a disability that makes the voting process difficult. You don't have to then submit proof. It's your word.
Yeah, it's your own say so. I suppose you could be audited about it, but you know, nobody's claiming to be blind when they aren't.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's like, I have a client who's dyslexic.
They can do it.
Okay.
If they can in good conscience say, I can't use and read the printed ballot. And understand the standard is he wants to vote privately and independently.
Right.
And if that voter would require assistance to vote, then put down that you need an electronic ballot.
I'm going to think of an example of someone that might not be print disabled. Let's say someone has agoraphobia. They truly are very, very uncomfortable leaving their premises. If they had to go, they would feel much more comfortable voting electronically. That's their decision.
We want people to vote.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the point.
Okay, thank you, James. We'll move to the next agenda item. And I note the tips for company workers and volunteers for sensitive voters, especially for action needs. James, can you elaborate this packet that you both created?
Yes, thank you again, Chair. So another initiative of the state elections accessibility committee is to create a document to help people who work at voter service centers to be able to provide appropriate assistance, or if not assistance, to know how to welcome and best serve people with disabilities who may come to a voter service center. So this document is ready. We're about ready to approve it next week at our June meeting, and I'll mention that before I get done. But this document is aimed at speaking to people who staff voter service centers. This has nothing to do with voting at home with a paper ballot or voting with an electronic ballot or anything else. It just has to do with serving people at a voter service center. And I think I could say that the main thing is we want the voting process to be welcoming, simplified, inviting. The pamphlet actually says all those words and a few more that we're trying to accomplish here. And some people, when a person with a particular disability shows up, they just don't know exactly what to do or what to have thought of to do. And so this pamphlet is designed to make everybody a bit more comfortable. Not a long document. I'll just go down through some of the points here. So bear with me. Okay. So you could think of this brochure as sensitivity training. Let's refer to it that way. The most important point is, if you see a person with a disability, don't assume anything. Those of us who use a white cane, we're familiar with walking down the street and somebody assumes you want to cross the next street. Before you know it, they're leading you across it when you didn't even want to go there. This happens. Don't do this if you're a worker at a voter service center. Don't assume anything. The rule of thumb is to ask. And that's a pretty simple rule to remember, but people just don't think of it. Rather than asking, they'll assume what you might want to do. If the person says yes, when you ask or offer some assistance, then ask, how can I help you? In other words, be guided by the individual. Everybody is going to be different in this respect and have different needs around this table. That would be true of all of us. And so the rule of thumb is to ask and don't assume. We talk about long lines, and in this pamphlet, we say if there's a long line and the person arrives to vote, ask if you can escort them to the front of the line, but don't insist on it. If the person says no, then the answer is no. When I was younger, I'd say, no, I'll just stand here in this line and wait an hour. Now that I'm older, they take me to the front of the line. So it's more of an age thing than a disability thing. Okay. So there are several recommendations in this pamphlet about the width of the path of travel. But particularly, this has to do for people who use wheelchairs, and it recommends the length, or I mean the width, so the path is passable, and other things about the surface that need to be thought of. So I think most of our voter service centers are going to comply, but it's good to have this pointed out in advance so that could be checked. Okay, we cover signage and orientation. In other words, helping people understand where things are. Somebody should be available to be able to orient people to the ballot. Now that would be if it's simply to mark a paper ballot, which some people with disabilities will want to do it that way, or it's to use the Verity Touch writer machine. And we have those at all of the voter service centers. So somebody should be knowledgeable about how to use those machines. Don't just depend on the voter having that knowledge. Some of them do have that knowledge, and we want to get that knowledge out to as many as we can, but a lot don't have that knowledge, maybe the first time they've ever seen a machine. So somebody should be available at all times at the voter service center who knows how to use the accessible ballot marking device called the Verity Touch writer.
And these are for.
What was that?
This is for people with disabilities who don't want to fill out the electronic ballot.
Correct. Yeah, this simply speaks to what happens at a voter service center. Okay, and then there are several disability specific suggestions. There's a section here on hearing. And there's a few suggestions for communicating with the persons, like writing text messages on a smartphone or using a pad of paper, for example. Vision, have someone available to guide, ask how to assist the person. If there's handout materials available, they should be available in audio and braille form as well as standard printed form. And then there's a few pointers on people with various mobility impairments, about workspaces and table height available and the width of the point of travel, as I've talked about before. And for people who have intellectual disabilities, again, have somebody able to assist them in using the voting machines. I already mentioned about the handouts, audio, braille, and ordinary print. Service animals and guide dogs. It says these are support animals. They are not, and they are working animals. They are not pets. And so leave them alone. Ensuring independence and privacy. And the point being that the voter does have the right to do this process within their own capabilities and as independently as they choose to do it, and to have a private, to be able to cast a private vote. Okay, yeah. I think, okay, who to contact. This will depend on the, this pamphlet is designed to be a pamphlet for each county. And so once our state committee approves this, you know, it'll be transmitted to the county, to your division in electronic form. And you can insert the contact info for City and County of Honolulu Elections Division, and who to contact with any accessibility related issues. So that's the purpose of this pamphlet, is designed to make the process more friendly for people with disabilities to vote. It should not be a hard process, and it should be welcoming. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gash. Great session. I'd like to open up questions to the public, to the virtually or in person. Thank you again. Now, I would like to have questions for the two agenda items that were presented by Mr. Gasho on the board. Do you have any questions for the first item?
This is Brandon. No real question, just thank you, Mr. Gasper, for your stream.
Do you have any other board members?
Gashel would like to say something further.
Sure, yeah.
This is uniquely for the county. You know, I have in my hand the card that comes out in the mail that tells you, you know, about your, well, you can sign it again and send it in if you think you need to, or leave it alone. But the point, I don't actually know what's on this. I haven't read it in a long time. I could read it.
I think
but
people
the point,
didn't get it if they weren't registered. with
well,
us.
exactly. And here's my point. At this point, we have nothing electronic going out to the registered electronic voters until the time of the election. So around the 23rd of July. And we should have something that goes out roughly contemporaneously with this card, so that you can, and if you didn't get one, and it's already several weeks after these cards went out, because they went out around the end of April, and now it's June, and you haven't received anything from the county elections division, you would No, or it could be told, hey, I'm not in the system right. So you could do something to correct that. So what I would like to do is recommend for this committee to consider recommending that an electronic alert similar to the printed card go out prior to the opening of the election, just alerting to the person that they are available for electronic voting and they should anticipate receiving their ballot at such and such a time and just connecting them with the system. I think it would be a good idea. And as far as I know, no other county is, it's up to the county, not the state. So I think no other county is doing this, but hope Honolulu might take the lead in getting that started.
For your comments, Mr. Cash, I think it's a.
Can you, Mr. Gashel, can you review for us how we can double check if we're signed up for electronic? I don't remember.
Okay, sure. So what you can do, I've actually done this, so it's been a year or two now, but go to elections.hawaii.gov and there is a registration link. Now, I haven't looked. There may also be a registration link for the on the City and County of Honolulu web elections page. I don't know. Somebody here probably knows. If it's true, I'm sure it's the same. It takes you to the same place, and at that point, you're offered the opportunity to register or the opportunity to update your registration. And I think if you try update and then you put in the info and that it's going to want, and it's going to ask you for, state ID number, name and address, state ID number, probably last 4 digits of your social. I think those are the pieces of information it wants. And if you put that in and you're under update, it says, I can't find you. That means you need to register. If it finds you, then you need to go through the steps and be sure you've checked the box to get an electronic ballot.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Cash. Any other questions? Because I have some questions. Concerning the electronic ballot, so if I get the mail-in ballot and I decide to get an electronic ballot, it said I still have time within that time. Is that correct?
Well, if you get the mail-in, you're going to get the mail-in ballot no matter what you do. You should expect to get the electronic ballot at roughly the same time the mail-in ballot goes out. So if a few days go by after you've received your mail-in ballot package and you don't have anything, then I would be checking with the county elections division. And maybe Rachel or somebody can answer this, but I would be calling the county here and say, do you have me registered to get the electronic ballot? I think they can look you up and get that dealt with, but don't let too much time go by. You have 18 days between the time you get the time the paper goes out and election day.
Rachel, do you know what the phone number is calling folks to if somebody is requiring that number?
Yes, it's gonna be 808-876
768.
768-3800, and that's gonna go to our main line, and everyone can answer the questions right there.
What time is your line open to what?
7:45 to 8:30. Okay, sorry, 4:30.
All
And
right,
then weekdays,
and no holidays, right?
no holidays.
All right, thank you for that. And then my question is, when you do electronic ballot, it's sent to the, I guess, to the state or the county?
The county,
The county. How secure, how does that process go? You take the ballot, secretly ballot, is it stored? Nobody can see who you voted, what party?
it's encrypted and nobody can see it. It's secure.
And it's counted on the day of the primary at the county.
Well, it's, when you submit it, there's a process for how they count them. You can't change it after you submit
No, I
it.
just want to know when you submit it, how's the process? It goes on that night to the primary when it counts. Correct. Right.
Let's get it on.
Yeah, yeah.
Elections administrator.
Yeah,
When
Rex
the,
ought to know.
when the AFB, the encrypted barcode is sent to us, what we do is we check it into the voter registration system. The key point for that is that we need to mark you as having full in.
And you can't vote another way.
Yeah, no, well, it's a safeguard also because
Yeah.
just in case the mail ballot follows behind, once we receive that, it checks against the voter registration system. It says, well, hey, Donald already voted. Let's not count his ballot. It's the first thing that comes in. That
Right. Right.
So,
Can't vote early and
what
often.
happens is we give the sheet of paper to the Office of Elections, at which point they will use the encrypted information to produce a ballot, a marked ballot, and then they will pre-process that according to their procedures.
And, another question.
So wait a minute, Rex, who counts the ballots? State?
Scott Nago.
Got it. Got it. You receive them.
We receive them,
Scott
we
counts.
check them in, we give the information that's forwarded from you.
Yeah.
And they have a system in it that enables it to create a ballot, a marked ballot, with the selections you made. And then that is then entered into the stream of ballots that are being pre-processed. Like, there's a little bit of a distinction, so I just so you know, there's no actual counting that occurs. What happens is the ballots are scanned in, and only on election day do they press the button and they start to calculate what it saw over the course of those days beforehand. And of course, that's a safeguard, so no one it's checked to see if the pot is already boiling.
So our ballots, these electronic ballots, and correct me if I say anything that's not right, kind of go in with the overseas
Well,
voters,
it's
right?
yes, slightly different. The overseas it's not an AFB. It is
Right.
electronic by an email essentially, and they don't have the same feature set as the AFB.
Right.
What is the
AFB is electronic format now.
question concern the electronic ballot registered voters? Do you know offhand how many do we have since 20?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer. The next time we come around, I will provide that answer to you.
And then another thing is how secure is the security of this?
So it's real secure.
Well, I will tell you, we don't look at it because we really miss.
No, I'm worried about hacking, you know.
Okay, Mr. Conspiracy.
What happens is that there's only certain members
Yeah.
of staff that handle it for one thing, because it requires special. And so once it's received, printed out for the purposes of transmitting it to the Office of Elections, all of them is secured, placed into a cage, locked and sealed, and transferred to the State Office of Elections official observers.
So is it actually printed?
I believe so. Yes, it is printed. It is printed on our side.
You printed it
Yes, we printed it.
somewhere.
Yeah, as opposed to the old system where the voter was expected to produce
Yeah.
or scan,
Yeah.
which is, it alleviates I understand that was an onerous,
Yeah,
requirement.
yeah.
And we.
Not to mention, a lot of us don't have printers.
So right,
Yeah.
but we do because we're bureaucrats.
Yeah.
And, we have them in our office, we get all that stuff together, we put them in, and then again, I'm serious about this, I'm not joking, it is in fact only handled by senior members of staff. It is not clerks or regular clerks, and we secure all those are ordered materials, the same way we treat them.
Thank you. Question, you know, with the recent power outages we have, what the effects to the motor of the primary general? What should that?
Our backup? That's a great question. In the case of a power outage, I think we would be facing a delay. Obviously, because everything we do runs on electricity. At that point, if something like that occurs, we would have to look to the state to see what kind of remedy can be. Accommodation. You know, because we have our scatter sorters, there's no backup generators for those things. The voter registration system, which is a network system that is distributed across the state, you know, that's required for our voter services centers. So necessarily, I do remember a time when nothing ran on electricity except for the lights in the cafeteria. Those days are long.
And then the voter center machines, how many we have at each center?
Voter service center, the touch writers.
Touch writers.
We have 4 at Kapolei and 4 at Honolulu, 1 at each pop. Well, 2 at home. 2 and 1 at all pops. That machine is, again, it's a very convenient marking device. But by and large, I prefer to signature mark up the ballot and put it into scales.
And we bring our own headphones, or you provide headphones?
We have it.
All right.
By the way, Scott is not coming up. Yes.
Oh, no, I've seen that.
Perfect.
I'm just
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you, Rick. We go to the next agenda item, which is tips for volunteers and staff. Questions from the board? I just wanted to say something. I've been attending the statewide elections accessibility needs advisory committee meetings for a while now, and I was there when they talked about this pamphlet, and with service animal. I did bring up about service animals. I'm glad that it's put in. But if there's anything else you think needs to be put in, board members or the public, you should contact the statewide elections office and the committee. No, like James, you said there's a meeting coming up.
Yeah, our next meeting of the statewide committee, and we usually have quite a few people who, actually, we don't have in-person meetings. That thing's clearing over in Pearl City. And so we have meetings on Zoom. And it's at 1 p.m. Thursday, June 20. And you can.
Can you send us the
I can.
link?
Yeah, our agenda just came out today, and that's got it in it. Now, Donald, do you get those agendas? How do you want to do this? You can circulate it to the members here.
Right. I think I did. Members.
It just came out today.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Circulated.
Oh,
You were probably traveling to this meeting, so
okay.
it just came out today.
Okay. Get that
Huh?
Yeah, if we can get that out.
Yeah, so we'll be sure, Donald or I, one of us anyway, will be sure. And we invite, just like this meeting, we invite lots of public participation and so forth.
I'd like to thank your chair, Pat Morrison. Patricia Morrison, she was instrumental in doing this, she said.
Yes,
And it's a 2-page document.
yes.
And I'm glad it's 2 pages.
Yes,
It's wonderful that
just pretty condensed, good points, all.
and I appreciate what you folks are doing for us accountants. And I look forward to more information from you, as well as ours to you. As,
Right.
and any more discussion, questions? If not, thank you, Mr. Gash, for your
Thank you.
presentations. I would like to talk about our next meeting agenda item. The clerk's office will be busy in July, so we're going to have the general on August 10th.
Which is primary.
I mean, wait, primary, sorry. Writing it down, get ahead of itself. But I would like to have another meeting probably scheduled in September just to see how the primary. So we have a meeting, possible date to have a breaking motion. We have a meeting sometime in September. Have any possible dates? I think that here, Vice Chair Brandon Young, he said Friday's not on holiday,
Yeah. So,
possible on Friday.
so not Labor Day week. So maybe the second or third Friday of September.
September, you have dates.
Yeah.
If we can check with the other board members.
Every day is the same.
Right.
Okay. So that's the sixth. That's my sixth. Yeah, not that routine.
Friday the 13th.
Oh my God. How about the 20th?
20, yeah, the 20 would be okay. I have my black hair already. The 20 is it, but we have to check the availability of this room and staff.
Sure.
Members, I just want to give feedback on the 20th. Mr. Balaz, Mr. Gash, and myself, Brandon.
As far as I know, I don't have anything that day.
As far as I know, I don't have anything.
I don't have Mr. Balaz.
I think I'm fine. If, yeah. And later in the month, I'm not. So 20th is about a little more.
Yeah, how about Mr. Balaz?
Yeah, September 20th, I can do.
I appreciate it. Kevin and the staff, as well as the elections office, we have to check on that, right?
No, we'll check on that. That seems.
Should we vote on this?
Sure, I'll make a motion. So we agreed to schedule the next meeting of the County of Honolulu elections.
Accountability.
Advisory Committee for Friday, September the 20th.
And sometime.
Is it this time?
It's 2 a good time. It seems to be, right?
Yeah, if it's okay with this, 2 o'clock here, 2 o'clock.
Okay, so yeah, that's my motion.
Any motions, you have a second.
Oh, second, sorry.
And seconds, any discussions? I'm going to take a vote, so just say aye if you agree to this. Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, it's been approved on 20th September. Yeah, the same time. It's not bad. Okay, I appreciate any announcements. I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who put down the board members, public, staff, everything. Rex, everybody in the office. It's great to have this meeting, to have the county, to give concerns to the statewide elections. They needed Mr. Gasha. We appreciate all you do, as well as your committee and the state elections office. Let's make sure that we vote early and we have accessible electronic ballot and everything goes well with the primary. And we come back in September and see what the results was. I look forward. Anything else?
Well, I just want to make a comment that I wasn't going to say this, but hearing the demonstration that Mr. Gashel provided of the electronic ballot was very emotional for me because like this really is true accessibility. And as a blind person, I have been involved in the cause of accessible voter registration ever since I lived in El Paso, Texas, back in the 90s. I was very involved in a, let's say, a civil rights issue that we, this is just wonderful. I can't overstate how good this is.
Thank you for your remarks. That's great. Yeah, anybody else speak for you?
Just one thing, Chair. Thank you for your efforts to bring all these minds together to help inform and advise us in our work to make our voting process simple. Just one thing, thank you. We're going to be busy. The election is really beginning in earnest. Oh my God, next month already. But we hope you spread the word. Don't wait until the final day to, for one thing, to check your voter registration or sign up for an AFB format ballot. Avail yourselves to the vote by mail system if that's what you choose. But whatever the case may be, however you wish to vote, just don't wait till the last day because the last day is until what?
You made the news.
But again, thank you guys very much.
Okay.
We'll see you in September.
Yes.
Oh, Chair Sakamoto.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Glenn Takahashi. Just
Right,
wanted
Dave.
to chime in and say thank you very much for running I guess this is the second meeting of the year, and looking forward to the postmortem in September to get everyone's feedback on how they think the primary election went. Again, out to James Gashel, thank you very much for the demonstration. That was very, very informative for me. A lot of times with these systems, it's rolled out just in time. So this was really great to get a preview of the new system, the enhanced voting system, actually before it goes out. This was very, very informative for me. And just to get back with you on your question or concern about perhaps getting some type of electronic voter notification card for those persons that are using the alternate format ballot, I think that is something that is very much doable from our end, as we do have the capability to send out multiple, mass emails to a listing. So that's something I think we can look forward to doing, probably not this year, but in a couple of years anyway. So, but that is a great idea because you are very right in the sense that as of right now, without the voter notification card, really it's used actually for us for purposes of list maintenance. But again, for those voters that are not, I guess what's the word, print disabled, yeah, it has some meaning, but for yourselves it has none. And so that's something I think we can do to advance this process in the future. So thank you again for highlighting that to us. It seems like a very obvious thing, but again, it's something that I think we should be doing in the future.
Okay. Thank you, Glenn. Okay, any more announcements or comments?
Hopefully we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Okay, I'd like to motion to adjourn the meeting. Can somebody motion?
I so moved.
Okay, second. Aye, if you want for the end of the meeting. Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, it's official. The meeting has ended at 3:25 p.m. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So hot day out. Thank you.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You.
Yes. Are you?